Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the Unknown Comics Podcast. This is episode 39. I'm Tanner.
I'm Darren.
Still Chris, I think?
Still? Are you certain?
Maybe. I feel like my camera's a little off.
I've
There's only my elbow. Where's my other elbow? Hey, I got two elbows now.
Oh no! Oh, my eye. Why do I want to do a podcast with you guys? My eye starts hurting. Thanks for having me as a guest.
Yeah. Anytime.
So today's a big day, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna just really.
For a minute, I didn't think it was going to happen.
How come?
Well, they tried to push it back again.
I think that was a big rumor mill. Somebody just tried to scare the masses, and then they were like, we'll show you. We'll push it up 2 weeks.
I think that had to do with the success of Shang-Chi.
I think Shang-Chi had a little bit to do with it as well. I mean, it has done very well. So.
And I have avoided all spoilers. All spoilers? I don't know what happens at the end of this movie. I don't know what happens. I know there's an end credit.
I don't know what happens during the movie. I did read something on what happens afterwards, but who knows if it's true.
I think that somehow, I never thought this movie was going to get pushed past Spider-Man anyways, because I think somehow Venom is going to be in either this next Spider-Man movie or something after.
I've seen rumor mill stuff about that. No official spoilers.
Yeah,
or
but
anything.
they've talked about that for a while. You know, when
and then like they
they
showed
messed that up a long time ago.
Tom Harding with the set hat.
Yeah.
For No Way Home.
Oh,
Yeah, he did an interview in the set hat.
yeah,
With another guy from the set of No Way Home.
yeah.
So I think that overall, so if you haven't guessed what we're talking about right now, it's Venom.
Well, I mean,
Venom.
No real spoilers yet because we don't know yet. But a couple years ago, when they were like, when they were first doing this partnership with Marvel and Sony, and Kevin Feige's there, and the lady from Sony's there, and they were like, "So is this connected to the MCU?" And she's all, "Yes," and he's all like, "You can see him out wanted to stab her right there during that interview."
The hell you say?
Yeah.
I think not. Are we live on the store right now?
No.
In store.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I almost said the bad word.
Be Nasty says he's ready to go see it. We're going as soon as we're finished recording.
Yeah,
we finished the
be there.
podcast and head that way.
The official Big Fungus. What up?
All right. Fungus. Are you like athlete's foot fungus?
No, he's just a fun guy.
Oh, fun guy.
Yeah, he's just a fun guy, right?
Do you know? Do you know Ryan Reynolds? Guy. Hey, guy.
Yeah, I was gonna rewatch the first one this week too, but yeah, so he said I'm just a fun guy. I got you, bro. He said I needed to rewatch the first one. Yeah, I was going to do that with this week, and I totally didn't get to it.
I didn't want to.
I've seen it about 1 million times now.
I've seen it quite a bit. I just want to go into this
my sweet Venom webhead shirt
by Patrick Gleason.
Patrick Gleason. We have, if you're local, we've got some of these shirts here in the store.
Yeah, they're real neat. My son's already stole a hoodie. Like literally stole it.
God.
One of my kids did too.
Yeah.
Where's our loss prevention?
Stupid owners, kid. It's like
She was cold.
It's like going
here's
to
a hoodie.
It's like going to church and the PK is always the worst.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it is having a comic book store. Daddy, can I have a toy? No. What if I make bags and boards? Okay.
Yeah, they do work for almost everything they get. I mean, there's that. It's not slave labor. They're my kids.
So Venom's runtime is an hour and a half, or just over an hour and a half.
And I think that's with credits.
Yeah, I mean, they basically have come out and said, we are in, we are out, we're done.
Andy Serkis or whatever his last name, however you pronounce it, he's like, I got this.
Claw.
Real quick. Yeah, or, Smeagol.
Smeagol.
Yeah.
Smeagol.
He's like, I ain't doing no Lord of the Rings crap.
Yeah.
There's not going to be 17 alternate endings. And
There won't be epic walking scenes.
So I'm excited to see the movie. I actually think Woody Harrelson is, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that he was the correct choice for Carnage. I think that,
My
and talk
expectations
about a
are
guy.
the same as Venom 1. I don't have any.
Yeah, I don't have any.
So it should be fine.
But talk about a guy who reinvented his career.
Yeah.
Like, he disappeared in the 90s and just did, like, little things here and there. And then, like, Zombieland came out. and
Hunger Games.
Well, Hunger Games was, like,
That was like his
Zombieland.
bring back. Zombieland was like his first kind of like, hey, I'm a lead kind of guy.
Yeah, I'm a
right?
lead guy. And then Hunger Games was definitely his first big, like, huge franchise he worked for. But, now to be part of the MCU, hopefully, we still don't know, but hopefully, he's found his way to the MCU through Venom.
If I was an executive at Sony, it wouldn't make any sense for me to not share the characters. Because
Well-
that's just money that I don't really have to work for.
And I was
How
talking
much
to the
money
I was
have they
talking
made?
Yeah. And I was talking to the customers outside right before the podcast, and I was like, how much easier is it for Sony to go, hey, MCU, here's Venom to add into everything you're doing versus the other way around. Hey,
We're gonna
Marvel,
take
can
Spider-Man.
we borrow Spider-Man for a movie that
Yeah.
won't interact with you at all ever again?
Yeah.
I mean, what's going to make them more money?
And now that there's a multiverse, if you go with anything like the new What If episodes, all this stuff, like literally it doesn't matter where they were beforehand.
Yeah.
Right.
And it could
It's
be a
all
totally
good.
different Venom. Like, they could still go back through and create an Eddie Brock Venom from
Right.
Or Flash
Tom
Thompson,
Hollins.
or-
Yeah.
Something. I mean, that's the one thing that bothers me about the movie is really bad. Is he doesn't have the emblem on him. He's just
And that's
black.
because he's never been with Spider-Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and he doesn't have that love obsession that he has with Spider-Man either.
Perfect.
And
Toast.
that's a big part of who Venom is.
Well, and that's the other thing I was talking to the customers outside about was I think the fanboys are going to have to really learn from the X-Men fans that it's just going to get jacked up and messed up and you're never going to get what you want and everything's going to be right and just accept that it's cool.
Yeah.
Because as an X-Men fan for the last 20 years, pretty much every time Fox produced a movie, you're all like, you looked at the comic?
You got the characters' names somewhat right. Hey, I mean, they did better on the X-Men movies than they did with the Maze Runner movies.
No, there's that.
First Maze Runner book and movie were like, okay, those are pretty close. The second ones, I was like, okay, you used their names. That's about all you did there. So
So,
the official Fungus says he just bought 3 sets of Venom Lethal Protector 1 through 6 in preparation for Venom 2.
oh, for the hype train?
I feel like, I mean, most of the symbiotes died in the first movie, right? So what does it matter?
No, it really was. I mean, only was it Ravage, the gray one that the boss got taken over by? I mean, he was really the only important one.
Was it Ravage or Riot?
Riot.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but she died. Remember the girl that she would have been Scream.
Yeah, but there's
died in the
so
containment.
many
I guess
other-
maybe they didn't actually name her, but
Well, all the named villains aren't they technically spin-offs of Venom himself?
Well, it's either Venom or Carnage. Like, it depends on what.
well,
right,
a lot of
well,
them
they're
were
all
created. They were scientific
birthed
created
off-
ones as
Because
well.
the trailer kind of gave us how Eddie got, or how Cletus got his symbiote, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it shows him biting his finger.
Yeah, biting his finger and ended up right as he gets the injection to die, he transforms. So that's kind of how we get the idea of that. Because I think in the comic books, Eddie was breaking out of prison and left part of the Carnage symbiote in the wall, and
Yeah.
it attached itself to Cletus.
Yeah, I think I remember reading the older issues of that.
That was like forever ago.
Yeah.
But I think that's how that happened in then. But man, all I
Did
know.
y'all, so me and Brandon talked about it a little bit last week, but y'all weren't here. Did y'all see Donny Cates' tweet that he was kind of joking at Sony?
That they didn't say anything about him, or
No, he was like, no. I guess in one of the trailers, Sony names the planet that Venom's from, and Donny Cates tweets, "That's a funny way to pronounce Klyntar."
oh yeah.
Because they didn't say Klyntar.
It's something
they-
completely different.
Well, you remember the whole thing they made fun of the first movie was symbiotes.
Yeah.
So because the doctor's like symbiotes.
That's funny because
Yeah, they changed that before the movie came
well,
out.
Yeah, I think so.
David Nakayama's serial covers he's been working on. The Venom one is symbiotes.
Symbiotes.
Yeah.
I think he shared that today. The Carnage one. Yeah.
Murderos.
Yeah, Murder Oats and the symbiotes.
And then also, I guess if you get on Twitter, you can have the official Venom account roast you.
Oh, that's
All right.
interesting.
Well, I'm really pumped. I mean, this is another Marvel movie, whether it be MCU tie-in or not. This is what, movie 4, 3?
In the last couple months, so
Yeah, I mean, we had Black Widow, we had Shang-Chi, we had
This is movie number 3.
I think
yeah,
they said
Eternals
that
is 4.
They
And
have 21. I can't remember if it said projects or movies in production right now. That's crazy.
That's what's making them all the money right now.
well, not only that, just think. Can you imagine what was Iron Man came out in what 2008, right? 2008.
Was it 8 or 9? Because I think the 10 year was 2000.
Iron Man came out before Disney bought them.
So maybe it was 8.
Yeah, I think it was 2008. And then Disney bought them after Iron Man came out because Marvel self-financed Iron Man. And that's why it was a little bit more sexier. Like it had a little bit more provocative stuff going on.
Iron Man 3.
No, Iron Man 1 'cause it had the whole sexy reporter. And
Yeah, it was a little bit
It
more.
was Paramount. Paramount back to the first 2.
No, I think it was just the first one.
No.
Because Disney bought it before Iron Man 2 came out.
No, I think it was Iron Man 1 and 2 were Paramount. Iron Man 3 was only Marvel. And then Disney bought everything.
Let's see. Iron Man was came out in 2008. No, because Iron Man 2 came out before or after.
There was only one movie that was fully Marvel before it was Disney.
Buying Marvel. I think no, because it was what the first movie was Iron Man 1, and then was it Iron Man 2 before Captain America and
Yes.
Thor?
Well,
Because
the
2,
Incredible Hulk is
Incredible
because-
Hulk 2 and Avengers and Captain America were all at the same time.
Because it was 2009 that Disney acquired Marvel for $4 billion.
Yeah, Iron Man was Paramount. Thank you, fun guy.
Can you imagine buying? Okay, you drop $4 billion to buy Marvel Comics. That's what now? What 3 movies?
Yeah, I know. It's like that's so easy.
Like-
they're just like,
And just think about it. They purchased Star Wars for $7.6 billion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they made their money back off that in the 3 terrible movies.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just now, Visions wasn't my favorite, but it's cool to see that they're letting more people have access to the content.
I
what I
saw
mean?
this the other. I don't know what movie it's supposed to be, but Taika Waititi
Yeah, he's
is
writing a movie
directing
right now.
one of a Star Wars movie.
Yeah. Yeah, he's working on a project. Ryan Johnson is still doing the 3-part, even though a lot of people thought he wouldn't get it. He still is doing the 3.
Wasn't tied to the Great
as well.
Space Chase, was he?
I thought he was.
He was the 3rd Thor movie.
Oh no. Well, no, that was Tiki.
That's what he's talking about.
No, you said Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson. Yeah,
Because the Ryan Johnson was the first movie that was J.J. Abrams.
yeah, he was the second one.
He was the second one.
worst
Oh
one.
God.
That's why I said everybody didn't think he would get one because he ruined everything Abrams is doing, but he still is doing it.
I still can't even get over the Great Space Chase.
Yeah, Patty Jenkins is doing a Star Wars as well.
I don't know how I feel about that after Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah, she
I
was
liked
also
Wonder
supposed to do
Woman
Thor
too.
2, and then that didn't happen. That fell apart.
That was creative differences from what I read.
Yeah.
So let's talk hypotheticals. So we haven't seen Venom yet. This is going to air tomorrow. So we're going to have seen Venom before this even airs. So let's say that the end credit scene does tie him to the MCU. Is it a one-shot movie, or is now Tom Hardy just part of the MCU forever? Is he going to just show up in No Way Home as part of the villainry that we haven't seen yet? I mean, what do you think? Do you think he's a long-term investment for Marvel? Do you think he's a short-term
I
investment
don't
for
know.
Marvel?
I think the only way to see is if we see him in a team movie. If you're in a team movie, I think it's a long-term
if
investment.
you're a team movie.
I think no matter what, if they are leading to a Sinister Six, which we're going to see, which they're already saying that is going to happen, there is going to be a Sinister Six movie. They're talking about that from the Spider-Man.
But Venom's
Well,
not a Sinister Six guy.
But I think he comes along because he's not a villain right now.
No, he's more of an anti-hero kind of guy.
I would say he's more of just a hero with a bad attitude. I wouldn't even say he's an anti-hero.
I don't know. He eats bad guys.
Batman shoots people in Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, but he was a vigilante and an anti-hero essentially. I mean, essentially DC made him Punisher.
Yeah, we can't say his name. Being that
Who?
the director Takiki.
Oh no.
If Brandon was here, he would correct us.
Yeah,
all.
he'd be like.
I think he stands in front of the mirror and says names like that. I'm not really sure.
I listen to the podcast as I'm working around the store, and I'm like, how does Brandon absorb all of this information?
I think he gets paid to work, but he may not be working. I'm just throwing that out there.
I think he really may be at his day job just doing nothing but like studying Wikipedias.
Yeah.
He may be even the guy that updates Wikipedias. That may be like his real job.
Real job.
We're gonna have to search his wiki history.
Brandon Newberg, he created Wikipedia. Oh, that explains everything. I don't know. Are we allowed to say full names? I guess it's fine. They don't know his name, right? Sorry.
Just silence. Yeah. So if I think he'll be. I don't see Tom Hardy doing this kind of stuff if it wasn't going to be money long term, right? Because he's
He
making
is-
money on Venom, but he would make a lot more money if he was in the MCU. I feel like
He is known for not signing up for projects if he doesn't think they're going to be successful
no.
Oh, really?
in the long term.
Well, you can't look at so Marvel has basically given everybody in the universe the middle finger over the last calendar year.
Well, Disney.
Disney basically has
Marvel.
come out and said, because I remember Guardians of the Galaxy came out in 2014. Was it 2014? It was 2014. And everybody said that was going to be their first colossal bust because nobody knew anything about Guardians. And it made $90 million opening weekend and then went on to be almost $1 billion franchise in the first movie. And it was $1 billion movie on the second movie. And then they said Ant-Man was going to be the first bust that Marvel ever does. And then Ant-Man goes on to do my $90 million opening weekend and then does hundreds of millions of dollars the rest of the movie while it's in theaters. And then, of course, the eternal Paul Rudd has become a staple in the MCU now. And then everybody said Black Widow was going to be the first Marvel bust. And then Black Widow ends up going and making a ton of money. And, now because it's made so much money, Scarlett Johansson's in lawsuits with Disney because of the Disney Plus, and she wants her money because she would have been paid pretty
it's my
substantially.
money and I want it now.
Well, I mean, if you go back and you look, Kevin Feige didn't want it to go that way. He
No.
fought it. And then,
Well, I mean, it may cost them the Russo brothers
yeah.
coming back because they said if that's the way the pay scale is going to be, we don't know if we want to come back if that's how you're going to treat your people.
Yeah.
I think,
So just give her $100 million and
well, I don't even know if she would have gotten that much money,
just give her
but
$100
that's
million
what
to be
she's
silent.
going, right?
Yeah.
It's the principle.
But to carry on, I mean, and then Shang-Chi came out. That was going to be Marvel's first truly terrible movie, and then it ends up being one of their best rated, like Rotten Tomato movies ever. Everybody loves it. Nobody hates it. Anybody who does hates it, I think, is just looking for a reason to hate it.
They're racist.
Yeah, they don't like dragons. I don't know. Maybe us people that don't know anything, they got the culture all wrong. I don't know, but I loved.
I thought it was
Shang-Chi.
awesome.
Yeah.
Top 5 Marvel for me. So Eternals, now everybody's turned their direction towards Eternals, and they're like, Eternals is going to be the first movie bust. And I'm like,
it's Lord of the Rings timeline, and that's what they're worried about.
right. And I'm just like, if Eternals comes out, and the only thing I would ever consider, like, Marvel's truly, like, Marvel missed the mark, and they missed the mark on purpose, what is Inhumans. Like, once they knew they were getting X-Men back from, like, they bought
felt like-
Fox, they're all like,
I think they
Inhumans,
felt like
what?
they had to still do a project because they said it was coming.
Right.
And then they were like, okay, who's interning?
Because Inhumans
to
wasn't
them.
even supposed to come out until like 2022.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
I watched it on the big screen 2 years ago.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be a movie after the Infinity
Right.
Saga.
Yeah.
Right. And now it's just like they were just like, who's Black Bolt?
And I think that's
Wait.
why they had to go to the Eternals now because, well, we already used up the Inhumans, so we got to go find somebody else.
I think they don't ever. I think that it's like many other things. Like they're just like that never actually
I
happened.
don't
Yeah.
think they'll go back to
So
it.
Not for a while. I mean, they're going to treat it like the
I
X-Men.
mean, they are talking about somehow bringing in Quake, and so they may bring in Inhumans in some way, shape, or form because the Eternals will explain the fact that genetics were messed to us. We had mutants. We have Eternals.
Well,
we
So
have deviants.
I felt like
all
with
that's there.
all the way through the Infinity Saga, they lined it up before the movies came out, as so we knew what we were getting.
Right.
As far as the overall story.
yeah.
Ever since then, they might know what their long game is as far as the story, but they haven't let us know.
Well, and here's the reason why I don't think they're done with the Inhumans. Miss Marvel is an Inhuman.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
things
that
like
we are going to see Inhumans in Captain Marvel 2.
Unless they retcon to Miss Marvel to be a mutant.
I don't think they will. I think it's important that she's an Inhuman.
And they also haven't quite said what Scarlet Witch is.
And then
There's
there's
not an experiment.
the whole Kree
Yeah.
thing. The Inhumans are a byproduct of the Kree, which they really haven't invested a whole lot into yet.
Yeah, but
So-
we do have Kree in the MCU.
We do. And they tried the Kree in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but by that time, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was off canon anyways.
Yeah.
So Inhumans would be the first time I think that Marvel ever missed the mark, and I really think it was like Starship Troopers 2. Hey guys, go shoot a bunch of footage that we used in the first movie, turn the things over, let's go set up in Hawaii, everybody will have a good time, work for 20 minutes, and then we'll be done.
Well, and again, the fact that the MCU universe is however they want it to be, they could bring these people in from wherever or whatever and have them, again, how they want.
Right.
Because there's even talks of some of the original X-Men cast, well, not the original, the newer X-Men cast coming back and reprising their roles. Because I think some of those guys were cast correctly.
Yeah, James McAvoy in the MCU would be amazing.
I think so too. And I would even bring Fassbender back. You know, even if he's not Magneto, I'd love to see him be somebody else. And I think those are okay to bring those kinds of things.
And I think the idea will come from, Boner.
Well,
Yeah,
they still left it open in WandaVision for
that's a big deal,
Evans
having
to
him.
be Quicksilver.
yeah, and I think that's where he's going with the comment.
I think that we're going to see, I would like to see the kid who played Cyclops come back. If you bring him back, you have to bring back Jean. And I wasn't a real big fan. I do not want to see Jennifer Lawrence come back. I don't want to see Mystique come back for a while.
I don't know if she would, but I know that she has talked to Marvel about other things. I don't know what that might be.
Maybe a voice, just be a voice. I don't want I don't want Jennifer Lawrence back right now. And I used to like Jennifer Lawrence, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But man, Venom could open up so many opportunities if they could figure out how to tie Venom in. Maybe then we can even go back and they can somehow figure out how to tie Hugh Jackman in for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think we'll maybe finally see him in Deadpool 3.
I
I think that's where we might see him.
but Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds will carry over very nicely into the MCU.
Yeah,
which would be
and
great.
They're writing that right now, so that is in the progress of being done. So
I mean,
And
Ryan,
he's already been in the MCU, Darren.
yeah, his commercial,
showed the
his
commercial.
free guy,
yeah, with,
his
yeah.
free guy commercial puts him in there.
so I mean,
Good movie, by the way. If you haven't seen that,
if you haven't seen Free Guy,
it's amazing.
what the shit?
The cameos.
I mean, even Captain America's in it.
Yeah, the cameos are great. So I loved the cameos.
Man, it's been as a comic book fan, I started collecting in 1992, and I would have never imagined that we would just have essentially all year long just something superhero related on TV all the time.
And still, almost none of them get awards.
Hey, WandaVision got some costume stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, there are a lot of people got really mad about the snubs on that. I just think at some point that these people that are all high and mighty on this stuff is just going to have to be they are doing real acting in these movies. I mean, it's not like it's easy.
All I know is I go back, and we've already discussed this on a previous podcast, based on the way the lady cried at the end of Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity Wars. There's real acting going on because that lady was crying really hard throughout the entire dusting of the end of that movie.
Well, I think it's
We are-
sad, too. The only time that movies are getting any recognition is when there's tragedy in real life behind those characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
With Hugh, what am I trying to say? The kid that played Joker. Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger, yeah.
You know what I mean? What if he had not passed away? Would Joker in that movie still got the recognition it would have got?
I
So-
do know that Batman 3 would have been a much better movie because Joker would have still been in it.
Yeah.
So Fungus asked, do we think Spider-Man and Deadpool will have a movie / show?
Oh, man.
I could see them.
I can see clear.
I could see it being a cameo scene. I don't see him basing an entire thing around it.
Yeah. I don't know if either of those guys would sign up for that show-wise.
Ryan Reynolds would do anything that put him in a Deadpool costume.
Yeah.
I mean, if he said, put me in a Deadpool costume, but just don't say the F-bomb as much, he's going to be like, I'm in.
Well, I mean, to me, Deadpool's funny, but he's kind of been overplayed.
Not in the movie universe.
Not in the movie universe, but it's the same joke, just a different media.
The problem with that idea is your very idea that you're bringing up is the same thing that's going to be applied to Wolverine. Every X-Men movie is about Wolverine, and every DC movie is about Batman.
But the difference there is those characters have
and
depth in their popular stories, where Deadpool is just a joke.
But I don't know. Well, one, Deadpool's had some very good storylines along the years.
He has, if you read into, if you look for him, but in the popular world, he's just a gimmick.
But I think Deadpool runs along the same vein that when it comes to actual readership, I think you're comparing two different fan bases. I think that your Deadpool fans that are like hardcore Deadpool fans don't actually read comics. They just like the idea of Deadpool because of Ryan Reynolds. Mm-hmm. And they have no idea any of the jokes that we know for the last 20 years because of Deadpool. They don't even know why Rob Liefeld is Rob Liefeld because they don't follow comic books. They don't know why the whole industry is against Rob Liefeld. Sorry, Rob, if you're seeing this, you still unfriended me on Facebook, so I have the right to say that.
He's not bitter.
No,
He's
not bitter at all.
He's sad.
He unfriended me.
You just want your exclusive signed.
I do. I want my comic. I used to be such a big Rob Liefeld fan.
He defended him like crazy.
Yeah, I defended Rob Liefeld, and then I asked him to sign a cover, and he told me no. And then, he purposely pointed out, he wasn't signing our Snake Eyes cover, which he was the writer, the artist, all of it. We didn't even do a homage. We just did a really cool cover, and
they're literally original art.
he singled out our G.I. Joe cover to not be signed with another one. He signed everything else, and I'm like, Rob, what did we do to you? And he even will stop and talk to me at shows, and he'll stop me in the crowd, and I'm like, Rob, why do you hate us? But it is what it is.
He knows Darren is the exclusive guy.
Yeah, exclusive. He actually called me exclusive king in L.A. once.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's neat. But, I think there's a whole lot of money to be made with Deadpool. I think a whole lot of people would be really happy to see him start. I would rather see him start being like Stan Lee and just kind of popping into movies, making cameos all over the place. And then, but Spider-Man, as a comic book fan, we know that Spider-Man and Deadpool have a lot of love-hate relationship going on, and I'd like to see that played out somehow.
In a weird way, Ryan Reynolds' first two Deadpool movies already make sense for a multiverse because he, on purpose, would go in there and find little ways to make it tie in.
Like the action figure from
action figures,
Wolverine.
Having the...
Are you the Patrick Stewart or the James McAvoy Xavier?
Yeah, he would do so much, and then he had the helicarrier in the second one. Mm-hmm. So he did a lot of stuff to kind of already make it feel like it could be some kind of a multiverse movie, right?
Right.
So it wouldn't be that hard to make just...
And he's, the only character that breaks the fourth wall, so he knows he's in a comic book movie, so...
Yeah. And his mutants that he used weren't in... Colossus was, but outside of that, everybody else, he could just kind of throw them in there.
I just wonder how Disney's going to handle...
Colossus is already 3 different people in the first place, so...
Yeah. Well, I'm more thinking, how will Marvel or Disney handle Negasonic Warhead and the other chick that's a couple? They really have not gotten into those kind of relationships in Marvel movies yet.
Consider New Mutants being a Marvel movie they have.
Yeah, but
I know it's a Fox movie.
I don't think we ever see those characters again, and if we do, the only one I think that comes out of it's Magic. Because she's a very well-known actress at this point.
Yeah. If mutants aren't in the MCU by the time Deadpool drops, he's going to say something about it in the movie. That's true. I think he could
That's
be,
how they introduce mutants.
He could be an introductory kind of thing there.
Deadpool gets the Infinity Gauntlet before it starts getting returned and goes, mutants. And then we have mutants.
Yep.
He just fries his arm, and then he has a baby hand again.
Okay.
Permanent. Because you didn't notice at the end of Shang-Chi that Banner is still in an arm brace.
I think we talked about that. I think maybe he can heal better, maybe in his human form. Maybe that's why he's like that. I think we'll get some explanation on that, I'm guessing. But
yeah. That was 5 years later, though.
Mm-hmm. Man. It's because technically the MCU used to be in the same year we are in. But I think when...
Shang-Chi's not 5 years later.
Well, it is. It's 5 years
after the snap.
After the original snap, not the Banner snap.
Yeah, it's not the Banner snap.
The Banner snap, it's only 6 months after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because COVID, Marvel's been running on the timeline that's been running with us until the snap. The snap skipped 5 years, but then we had COVID, which is then throwing all the stuff off because Black Widow.
We're actually almost caught back up with the MCU.
Yeah.
That was the whole ruse of everything to make the real world and the MCU line up again.
The snap was 2018? And
The
then 5 years later was 2023. So we're getting there.
Yeah, we're not too far behind. Man, I'm really excited about all these movies, and I'm really excited about the MCU. I still can't get behind What If. I know I need to catch up the last 3 episodes.
So good transition there. Why don't we?
Here, I'm gonna run an ad, and then we'll come back to
We'll come
it.
back and we'll spoil.
We're going to run an ad?
Yeah.
We can do that?
Yeah, we'll be right back.
All right, ad.
Okay, we're back.
Hey, we're back.
All right. So what if?
So we're getting into the
Spoilers.
spoiler part of our show. So if you haven't seen, you're not caught up on What If,
Okay.
we're
see
getting
you
into
later, guys.
spoilers.
You don't care about
don't care.
spoilers, except for this is like the first thing you haven't spoiled for Venom anyway. But so what if this last episode, episode 8, which is the second to last one, the previous episode we see Vision's version or Ultron's version of Venom. So it was you see him show up in an Ultron thing, and then boop, his mask pops up, and it's Vision on the inside. And a lot of people are like, "What is Vision showing up for?" And I was like, "No, it's Ultron."
Yeah, it's
Ultron
it was
with what
his
he
ultimate
wanted.
body, yeah.
So this episode is all about what if Ultron won. That's what episode 8 is. And this is how it ties all the episodes together. We finally see why the Watcher's telling us these stories. And even this, he's still just telling like a story. He said it's one of the ones that breaks his heart. It's the saddest one because Ultron gets his body and he just wipes the world clean. And then Thanos shows up with his gauntlet looking for the last stone. And he's like, interesting. Kills him. Takes the stones. Like that fast. A lot of people are actually pretty pissed about that. And then he's like, there's so much more I can do. There's so many more things I can clean and purify, you know? And then he just goes and destroys the whole universe. There's only 2 people left on Earth. That's Hawkeye and Black Widow. And they're doing a thing to try to find a way to hack into Ultron by using... gosh, we did this earlier, and I should have looked it up. The guy that was downloaded into the mainframe all by himself.
Dr. Zola.
Zola, yeah. So they're trying to hack him into Ultron because he's the only thing that's not attached to anything else. And so, but by the time they get to him, they can't find him because he has discovered where the Watcher's at because he's destroyed everything in the universe and he has no purpose. But then he can hear the Watcher talking. He's like, "Where are you at? I'll find you." And then eventually he finds him, shows up where the Watcher's at, and they just start busting each other up in the face and killing each other and whooping each other.
You talking about Ultron and the Watcher?
Yep. And it's so then he knows now that there's all these different realities that he can take care of, all these things that need to be destroyed because that's his purpose.
Right.
And so now the Watcher has to go back and hide himself in the Doctor Strange that destroyed his entire universe.
Yeah.
He goes to him to ask for help. So now we're seeing all these different what if episodes are now being tied together with
So
this.
is the real question. They build it as an anthology,
Yeah.
but they tied it together, so it's not an anthology.
Yeah. They lied to you. Brandon's gonna be so pissed.
That's pretty crazy. Like,
So I'm guessing the 9th episode, because we already know there's a season 2. So now it brings the question. Okay, so we thought we're going to get more Captain Carter in season 1, but are we in season 2? Or is season 2 just not going to be an anthology series and it's just going to follow something else completely?
or ends up being an anthology series
Yeah.
and they fooled you in season 1.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
it's just kind of curious to see because,
It's like an inception of being fooled.
Yeah. That's actually kind of an interesting, fun point of view at it. I'd have a hard time that Ultron could just kill Thanos having 5 of the Infinity Stones
he
already.
took the stone and just sliced him right in half. There was nothing left of him to make a choice. He went for the head.
Well, I mean,
Started from head, went to crotch. He fell over sideways. He took the stones.
makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
okay, over.
It was that fast.
First he cut the stones, then he took the stones.
Well, he didn't even take them. The gauntlet was still there. He actually went up to the gauntlet, destroyed the gauntlet, then picked up the stones and put them into his new his own little outfit thing.
His robot outfit.
Yeah, and then he was like all of a sudden just created all these new
So,
beings and stuff.
man, that would be kind of a boring existence. Like, you destroy everything.
Yeah, because that's his only purpose is to keep doing that. So
And
when he
so-
got to the end of the galaxy, that's why he was like, "There's nothing left for me to do."
He's
He could have just destroyed himself.
Could have.
he's programmed. I don't know that robots get bored
Yeah, that's
unless they're programmed to
he
be.
was
Yeah,
looking
but
for
he
his
had-
existence.
He had some form of emotion to him, though. I don't know. That'd be just when there's nothing to do, there's no task to do. I mean, and really, could the Watcher even stand up against the Infinity Stones?
B Nasty says, "I wonder if the multiverse is a different multiverse than the MCU." I don't think so.
We still don't have mutants, so yes.
I think
Until we get Rogue taking Thor's hammer, I got nothing on what ifs.
when they've come out and said that Loki and What If have the same amount of weight in the MCU. So
This MCU.
I don't see that.
No.
I think
not
Loki
yet.
had a lot more weight,
Not
but
yet, we don't see it.
All I know
Still
is
got one more episode.
I'm with Marvel right now. They've made things very complicated. They could mess everything up real bad in Phase 4. Or they could go in a direction that could never be achieved again. One or the other. And I'm real curious to see which direction we go.
I think what Disney Plus gives them, it gives them the ability to, like what they've done with Falcon Winter Soldier, Scarlet Witch, it gives them the ability to take these characters that we don't know as well and give them a story. So we don't get that like with Iron Man, Captain America, these guys that got multiple movies. We already kind of knew about those guys. So you didn't need a whole lot of background for us to already know who these characters were, because Americans as a whole, or worldwide, really superhero people, you knew enough about them to go ahead and make a movie.
Can you imagine how confusing it's going to be when the end of Phase 4 comes out and Loki's a hero and Falcon's a Captain America, and all these people are like, I didn't get Disney Plus.
I think that's a big thing too, right? The shows really have done what they said.
Well,
There's
you have to watch it.
there's so much weight to what's going on Disney Plus that like when Miss Marvel shows up in Captain Marvel 2 in the Marvels, you're gonna be like, wait, who's this?
They're-
And then you have Rambo, and you're like,
Yeah, I was gonna say when all the Marvels show up, which is why it's
I
called
mean,
the
they're
Marvels.
they're following in the form of comics where everything is connected to at least some degree.
yeah.
You have to know the entire
mean-
universe to know every.
You can already tell they're building Runaways, or not Runaways, but Young Avengers and Champions. I think they may have to go back and rebuild Runaways. I don't think they're going to bring that particular story in.
Yeah, that and Cloak and Dagger, those kind of ABC ones. I don't see them
Cloak and Dagger definitely won't.
using those characters at all.
Yeah, but I mean, we're so far away from those characters that they'll have time to forget.
Yeah.
But I mean, we definitely see the building of the Young Avengers. We definitely see the building of the Champions. Maybe that's how we get Cyclops through the Champions. Who knows? Because he was one of the main characters there in the more recent
Yeah, from
comics.
the new champions.
Of course, how do you get Viv? Because Viv would be complicated because we barely got Wiccan and Speed.
Well, and also that was Vision having an entire family of his own creation,
Right.
so that'd be interesting.
Maybe
Since
that's what he
he's still
go-
got Scarlet Witch.
Maybe that's what he's off doing right now is making a robot family since he disappeared. Man, so much to look forward to. So much to think about. What if? I haven't seen it outside of the zombie episode. Was the last episode I watched. But I'd love to see. I'd love to see more of the zombie episodes. I enjoyed that one, and I enjoyed the Carter one. I did not enjoy the middle three, like 2, 3, and 4. I guess I kind of enjoyed the Hank Pym one, and I think that's the most talked about episode to this point.
The one where he's killing everybody.
Yeah, because of I just wish that there was more to that story than a tombstone.
To Hope being.
Yeah, it's about who Hope is.
Yeah.
But man, it's. I know we don't have a lot of topics tonight, and the whole thing is talking about Venom and the MCU, and it's just there's just so much to talk about and so much to look forward to, and I am really excited about Eternals, just from the trailers and the cast.
The cast is a big deal, I think.
It's got to be their most expensive casting of a first movie.
I would think so, and then it's cool to see some of these these actors, as big as they are, to see how excited they were to join the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, all the Game of Thrones people moving over, like we finally have something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's just to see Angelina Jolie take up something like this, Salma Hayek take up something like this, and she was like. She's come out and talked about like the first time she got to put her costume on and actually get on set and just like how great that made her feel. I mean, just for actresses or actors that have been doing this for as long as they have to be excited about it.
Well, I mean, you're seeing. We're in year 13 of this plan, and they have through what they just slotted 4 more movies for 2024. So I mean, now you have like, all right, well, you've been in a movie, but now we're going to cast you for 10 episodes on Disney Plus, which is going to have movie quality everything. So you're going to get 10 more hours of screen time.
Yeah.
And I mean, think about how many actors that Marvel has changed the direction of their lives.
Yeah.
I mean, from Robert Downey Jr., I mean, that's the first one. I mean, they changed his life path by casting him. I mean, they cast Robert Downey Jr. as what he was before he got better, and then like showed the progression. So I mean, they just cast him. Chris Evans. I mean, Chris Evans was always going to be a big actor, but they made him a staple as a name. Chris Hemsworth. I mean, before Chris Hemsworth, he died in the first 4 minutes of Star Trek as the dad of Kirk. And that was pretty much the only thing he had done before that. So, I mean, they changed the direction. Scarlett Johansson, look at her career. And the list just goes on and on. Like, I mean, and then they bring back, like, Kurt Russell. What was Kurt Russell even doing? Was it Kurt Russell? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What was he even doing? I mean, Chris Pratt. Look what they did for Chris Pratt with Star-Lord.
Well, apparently they're bringing over Pine now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I've seen that.
They would have the... I love all the memes that have like they've collected all the Chris's.
Yeah,
they're like the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
who's the
you have Christian Bell as a bad guy in Thor.
Yeah. And he's not even. You can't even tell it's him.
Yeah. Well, that's not near as impressive as Colin Farrell as
The Penguin.
The Penguin.
Yeah.
Like that is an impressive like transitional character right there.
We're supposed to still get some kind of big reveal soon for Batman. I still can't believe that that's so far out. Like DC and their timeline on when they're bringing their movies out doesn't make sense to my brain.
Not to mention that movie's been shot for like 2 years.
Yeah, but you're gonna have another Wonder Woman. You put the trailer out too soon, and everyone gets super excited. And by the time the movies get here,
like I keep forgetting there's even a Batman movie coming.
The first trailer came out over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then
that was a teaser trailer. We haven't even had an actual trailer yet.
I am vengeance. But then you have, but that's the same thing that's going on with, was it Top Gun got moved out of this year again? Ghostbusters got moved out of this year again.
Yeah, those things that just happen.
And like, why is Ghostbusters? Ghostbusters is now 2 years. Is it just because it has a Stranger Things kid in it? Like, we just can't have the kids from Stranger Things be in movies that are going to be anywhere near on time because. When was the last season of Stranger Things?
Well, the next one's coming.
So the last one was still a couple of years ago, though.
Yeah,
the next one is coming now. Culture Crave is reporting that Moon Knight wrapped. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be Hawkeye,
Miss Marvel,
and then I think Moon Knight's like right after that, and then She-Hulk I think is coming after that one. So yeah, Moon Knight's probably going to be. I would think second quarter next year would probably be Moon Knight.
Yeah, but do they have any other Disney Plus shows after that?
Armor Wars and Riri.
Armor Wars
and then we got
Wakandans.
And we have a second season of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
And Loki.
Or second season of Loki. Sorry. Captain America is going to be their next movie.
Mm-hmm. Because they're what, they're usually 8 to 8 episodes or 6 episodes?
6 to 8 episodes, but they've all been around the same amount of total length.
Right.
Yeah, it depends on the length of the episode as to how many episodes.
Yep. So eventually you could get to the point where on that same timeline where they go a week in between and then start something new.
It's been around 3 to 4 hours total, I think.
No. Captain America Winter Soldier was a solid almost 6 hours. Every episode,
Every episode was about an hour.
Every episode was about an hour.
6 episodes.
But WandaVision played as a sitcom for like the first 4 episodes, and then it got longer. So it was essentially like 3 movies. But,
yeah.
We could eventually get to the point where they're just running something Marvel-related.
I would think that
52 weeks out of the year.
I would think that if they get to the X-Men, that they would do better.
Then they could take on the
Disney Plus show.
They'll take on the mantra of the New 52. The new 52.
New 52.
The Disney 52.
We're the real 52.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up so we can have time to make it to the movie.
Yep.
So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 for Magic Live.
Yep. You see, at least Brandon.
Yeah, and then we're also going to be doing sketching.
Yeah, we're going to do some special stuff for Inktober.
Yep.
I won't be here tomorrow, so I don't know what y'all are doing for sure. But,
Drawing Carnage.
But Monday I will be streaming for Inktober.
And who are you drawing?
Ben Riley?
Jazz.
Ben Riley.
Jazz.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.